Senate seat that we have to win, we being the Republicans, in 2024 is in Arizona. Kari Lake will be the Republican nominee. She will win. Kari Lake joins me now. Good morning, Kari. Welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Good morning, Hugh. Glad
I've
to be
already
here.
told people your website is karilake.com. Can you tell me what the race looks like to you? I don't know if it's going to be a two-person race or a three-person race, and I'm sure it doesn't matter that much to you, but what's it look like?
Well, we're prepared for both, and we're getting some polling back that should be back here, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, that shows in either a two-way or a three-way race, I'm up between 2 and 3 points. But you know how that goes. You got to have a bigger margin than you expect going into the way things are run these days. So we're just going to keep plowing ahead. We've got better policies. We've seen that. I've got the America First policies. I'm running against Ruben Gallego and Kirsten Sinema, who at every step of the way have voted with Joe Biden. I mean, with this border deal that Kirsten Sinema is working on with Chuck Schumer, it's as if they are negotiating for the people invading our country to make their lives better, and they've forgotten about the American people. This border deal that Kirsten Sinema is negotiating right now should have her run out of the country the way this is being negotiated. They want to give green cards, increase green cards by $50,000 a year. They want the American people to pay for the legal services and lawyers for all of these people coming over, the majority of whom are claiming false asylum. And we need to pick up their legal fees.
Kari, I am mostly upset that the most obvious thing, the wall, is not in the bill. Now, I just asked Juan Ciscomani, and he agrees, as far as he knows, there is no wall in the bill. Do Arizonans want the 900-mile wall?
Every Arizona I've spoken to is appalled that there's nothing in there. There's no barrier in this bill. We need the wall. We know the wall works. Hugh, if the wall didn't work, then Joe Biden's administration would not have come to Arizona and welded it into the open position in some areas. They want this invasion, and the cheapest way to stop it is by finishing and completing that border wall. President Trump was right on that. He had to do it when he had to do it, pretty much go it alone, because the Democrats and sadly some Republicans were against him. And I think now people realize that's the most effective and least expensive way to stop people from pouring across.
Finland is building a wall on their border with Russia. Turkey built a wall on their border with Syria. Israel built a wall in the Jordan Valley, which stopped the intifadas, the second intifada suicide bombing. Walls work. What is it about Democrats, Kari Lake, that they don't want the wall?
Well, the Democrats want all these people here, plain and simple. It was a Democrat who caused this. We had an effective border policy under President Trump. He didn't need a new piece of legislation. He followed the laws that were on the books. He started to construct the wall, and we found out how successful the wall was at keeping people from pouring over. And the Democrats on day one pulled that back, Joe Biden did, and invited the world to pour across our border. And now they're standing there acting like they don't know what to do. But the Democrats always want to create a problem and never fix it. They like to pour money into the symptoms. It's like having a severed artery and you're spending money on paper towels trying to clean up the floor. What you need to do is fix the severed artery. You talked about walls around the world. I talked to Viktor Orban, the great prime minister of Hungary, and they were having an invasion of their own when refugees were pouring in. And against a lot of the liberals in Europe, he listened to his people. They said, we can't have this or we'll lose our country. He built the wall. I said, how effective was it? He said, we went down to 0 people crossing over illegally.
Yeah, it's along the Serbia-Croatia-Hungarian border, and it works. Kari Lake, I know that nationally inflation is the number one issue, and I believe it's going to be the number one issue everywhere. But in Arizona, does that come in tied ahead of the wall, or does the border dominate everything?
Well, isn't it sad we have so many crisis issues that, you have to pick which one's the worst, and they're all equally as bad? I mean, the border is obviously very critical because it's a national security problem. We have to worry now about what these people pouring in are going to do. Many of them are here with nefarious purposes. But the economy is dreadful as well, especially in Ruben Gallego, who's trying to get this Senate seat. He's a congressman right now, and in his district, inflation is hitting folks the hardest. So we've got really, really high inflation here. People can't afford to buy a home because, as we know, the mortgage rates have spiked up double more than double what they were under President Trump. It takes about 7,000 more a year just to survive in Joe Biden's economy, and that affects the working class, and frankly, the poor. You know, if you're doing really well and you're wealthy, the extra 7,000 a month is not felt as much, although I don't want anybody to have to suffer. But for the working class, it's particularly painful. You know, the price of heating oil has gone up 70% under Joe Biden.
Kari, last question. I want to make sure people know. This is going to be an expensive race. How expensive, and where do they contribute, and do you need the money?
Well, yes, it's going to be expensive. If it's a three-way race, I'm told it's going to be $300 million, the most expensive in the country. We're working hard on fundraising. It does take money to run a campaign, and so any bit helps. Anybody who wants to help, KariLake.com, it's appreciated. You can see where I stand on all the issues, too.
KariLake.com with a K, KariLake.com. Thank you, Kari. You're going to win. You're going to be Senator Lake in a year. Keep coming back.